our title contenders under desert skies. RXR lead the charge. Those chasing must respond. They must outperform, outrace, outscore. History will play its part. Pressure will be heavy, but they all have the same challenge. They must all beat the track to beat each other. The title fight is now.
Hello and welcome to the Atacama Desert in Chile for round 4 of the Extreme E Championship. It's the first time the event comes to South America, and it's a stunning location for what could be our title decider. I'm Andrew Coley, and alongside me in the commentary box is Jenny Gow.
For the penultimate time this season, 20 of the world's toughest drivers take on one of Earth's toughest challenges in one of the most extreme environments in the world. This is the Antofagasta Copa X Prix. Now, we've already seen some extraordinary action out on this small but perfectly formed track with one of the craziest qualifying sessions we've ever seen. If you missed it, take a look at this. It's a cracker.
On to qualifying for round 4. Q1 individual car sessions, and it was Rosberg X Racing, the championship leaders, who threw down early in the session. Both Arlen Kotlinski and Kristoffersson on an absolute mission to get the job done here with a round to spare. Sarah Price and Carlo Leduc for Chip Ganassi Racing put in a fantastic performance in the Hummer EV. They were very close to RXR's performance with full send. Leduc very pleased with that, but in the end they would be pipped by Cristina Gutierrez and Sebastian Loeb, despite that moment for Gutierrez and Loeb on full send. They took P2. Sands and Sainz have been quickest in both the free practice sessions the day before. Sands put in a brilliant first lap, but unfortunately a mistake in the switch zone meant that Carlos Sainz would be given a 15-second penalty, plus the 9 seconds it had taken to do the belts up. Obvious disappointment. On to the racing in qualifying 2. A bad start for Johan Kristoffersson for RXR saw him dumped to the back of the pack, but this mistake by Timo Scheider dragged 3 cars wide of the waypoints. Veloce retired. Chip Ganassi Racing got a puncture. There was even contact in the switch zone. It was absolute carnage. Excite Energy retiring with broken steering. Massive change of fortune for Genesis Andretti United, who took the win. P2 for RXR, and Chip Ganassi Racing, despite their issues, come through for 3rd. On to race 2, and it was a better start in the middle of the grid for X44 than RXR had, but Acciona Sainz got down to turn 1 first. Carlos Sainz in front of Sebastian Loeb. Loeb teed Sainz up for this pass as they came down to the start-finish line, but knocked down waypoint 20. That was an immediate 10-second penalty, meaning that despite the fact Cristina Gutierrez took the checkered flag first of all, it was in fact Sainz and Sands for Acciona Sainz that would take the win once the penalties were applied. Here are the standings then at the end of qualifying. It is RXR who are in the top qualifier spot. Loeb and Gutierrez could have taken it were it not for that knocked down flag. But the semi-finals are looking really tough for RXR. Genesis Andretti United and Acciona Sainz with them in semi-final 1.
Yeah, great day for us. We felt very comfortable in the car, me and Michaela in Q1, so we were able to be P1 there. So great job by the mechanics and the engineers. Then I had a start in Q2, which wasn't the best start from my side. Handed over the car to Michaela, which nursed the car back home after some technical issues. So yeah, very happy with finishing this day on top qualifier and looking forward for tomorrow. I mean, this track creates great action we've seen already, so it's going to be tight, but it's all about making no mistakes, and we'll do our best, and then we'll see where that ends up in the end of the day tomorrow.
Well, they are the team to try and beat Rosberg X Racing, as you can see, leading the way, 75 points. It's an advantage of 32 over their next competitors, the GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing team, just separated by 1 point from Acciona Sainz, and then another 1 point down for X44 Vida Carbon Racing. So there's a really tight gaggle still in competition for this championship.
It is, and if those 3 teams between P2 and P4 can all get involved in beating RXR, they can bring the gap down. It might go to the last round. At the minute, it is advantage RXR because they're also the fastest at the moment in the Continental Traction Challenge, which would give them another 5 points. It's complicated. Stick with us. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, I think we're going to need big calculators today, but we're here to do that for you, so you don't have to. Well, it's a stunning setting, isn't it, for this very short and sweet track, which starts off in an aggressive manner, a longish start actually into the slingshot.
Yeah, longer than we thought, and then the slingshot up to ridgeline. Basically, those corners are all linked. Off the ridgeline is the long straight, where we actually did see people side by side. We thought we might. Then coming down Summit and down through the traction challenge, in that dip, didn't really see anyone able to get alongside anyone. It's quite technical coming down the hill, and then very fast. Look, this is the point at which Loeb made the pass just before the finish, knocking down that waypoint flag. There was another one, Emma Gilmore knocked down when Kevin Hansen was behind her. I think the drivers are having to watch their mirrors a lot more than normal.
Yeah, that finish as well, a little bit tricky, a little step there, which you can get a lot of air through. The fastest time through the traction challenge at the moment, a 1:09.910. 5 points up for grabs if anyone can beat that time set by RXR yesterday. So all eyes will be on that, because 5 points actually could be title deciding.
Absolutely, yeah. And in fact, Neon McLaren XE with Tanner Faust and Emma Gilmore, they came pretty close yesterday. They got within 0.3 of a second, and we think they did that during those qualifying 2 races, because we were convinced, well, we know X44 Vita Carbon Racing were in P2 earlier in the day. So, yeah, going to be close.
Well, wind picking up, as you can see, but it looks like we're all set for a great day. And in case you need a reminder of how it works, well, have a look at this.
Extreme E is a fully electric off-road championship racing on the most challenging terrains across the globe. 10 world-class teams, each fielding 1 male and 1 female driver in gender-equal lineups. In each session, both drivers will compete behind the wheel of the Odyssey 21 electric SUV, with a driver changeover, the switch, halfway through. Each driver gets an Innoa hyperdrive boost in every session, giving them an increase in power to provide thrilling overtakes. There are also bonus points available for the fastest team through the Continental Traction Challenge section of the course over the weekend. Day 1 is qualifying, with a round of time trials followed by a round of head-to-head races. This decides how teams line up for Day 2's racing. Day 2 sees high-speed knockout racing with the goal of reaching the final. First up are the 2 semi-finals, where the top 2 teams progress from each. Then it's the last chance to progress in the winner-takes-all crazy race. Fans can vote for their favourite driver in grid play, with the winning team able to select their grid spot for the final first. The 5-car main event sees the teams battle it out to be crowned Prix winner and bag 25 championship points. The team with the most points after 5 races will be crowned Extreme E champions.
Our first semi-final here at the Copper X Prix is coming up soon, and I'm joined by Johan Kristoffersson. Of course, Rosberg X Racing were the top qualifiers yesterday. Another great performance from you, but you've got to do it today when it counts, Johan, and Michaela is starting things off. What's the thought process?
Yeah, I think we just have to try our best and first of all have a good start. I think Michaela will, she used to be quite good in the starts. It's a little bit easier today when it's 3 cars instead of 5. So, yeah, we cannot plan more than do our best, and let's see how it goes.
How is the car-on-car action out there on this course, with how fast it is and indeed the jumps and the nature of it?
Yeah, it's great for racing, I think. We saw some overtakings yesterday, and I said yesterday that it should be a little bit more calm on Q2 than what I should be in semi-final and final. So can't wait to see what happens now. But there's definitely plenty of action to wait, I think.
That was a pretty crazy race, wasn't it? Was that one of the craziest you've ever been in, do you think?
One of them, yes. Yeah, it was a very crazy one. And yeah, I expect the same today.
Grid position 3 is the one you've selected. Did it show you yesterday that is the fastest one?
Yeah, I get confused about the positions because 1 is inside for me, but here is 3. So yes, we're choosing 3, which is the inside. Yeah, Carlos had a good start from there yesterday. Chip Ganassi had a good start there from yesterday. So yeah, but let's see. It's all down to how you deploy the hyperdrive, how you get the reaction of the start. Mine was terrible yesterday, so hopefully Michaela is a bit better on that today. And yeah, let's see how it goes.
Well, she is flying, and you guys have such a commanding lead at the moment in those standings. What is the mindset for today with the nature of the gap you have?
I think we just have to focus on doing the best results we can without taking too big risks. I mean, rather be a little bit on the safe side and then, see how it goes, but everything can happen. So even if you're not finding yourself in 1 or 2nd position out of the start, we see that there is plenty of, overtaking opportunities, and also that people are pushing very hard. And it might, you might gain some position from someone retiring. So also need to finish.
You do need to finish. That's good advice. Thank you very much, Johan. Best of luck to you. And we'll just speak to now Acciona Science. Laia and Carlos are here. Carlos just speaking to the mechanics, but Laia is here. Laia, you were very, very fast yesterday. You were quicker, indeed, may I say, than Carlos. How much are you learning from this partnership?
I'm learning a lot, and I'm trying to listen to him because he's the best teacher I could have, and for me it's an honor to race with him. I think he had trust last year on me, and I was not so fast in the first races, but now we are getting stronger, and I'm happy to help the team.
Yeah, you're flying around this course. It clearly suits you, even though I think maybe you didn't think it would. It clearly is suiting both of you. Carlos, she's pretty fast out there, isn't she?
No, he's driving very well. He's improving a lot, and yeah, very happy with so far. But it's not now. We need to, concentrate. We see we can be very fast, make mistake, and not going through. So it's important. You keep going fast, but you keep going to the semi-final and final.
Rosberg, X Racing and Andretti are your 2 to beat in that semi-final. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Best of luck out there. Thanks both very much.
Right, it is time for action then. Let's see what this stunning setting is going to give us in Santiago, Chile, at the Antofagasta Copper X Prix. And let's go down to the Vodafone Business Command Centre, where hopefully we can have a chat with Timmy Hansen. Good morning to you, Timmy. Bright and early. How are you feeling today?
Morning. I'm feeling good today. It's a nice track here, and it's a cool place to be, the Atacama Desert, and we go racing today, so it's a good day.
Come on, let us know your tactics. What's the strategy? No one else is listening, it's just us lot.
Yeah, of course. No, but I think we've done our homework. We got a fast car. Kate is quick, and I got a good rhythm, so feel confident that we can do a good job out there. But you never know in Extreme E, anything can happen, and it's difficult to have a plan, to be honest. So hope that Katie gets a good launch and can get us into a good position.
Timmy, Laura never got to ask you yesterday about the race because she asked all the questions to Katie. It was absolutely crazy, that qualifying race. You had such a shocker in Q1, and then in Q2, what a turnaround. P5 to P1.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like, I never thought that I would overtake the whole field in one corner. It's just, I was kind of laughing behind the wheel when that happened. But I thought at first I played it too safe in turn 1, but it turned out everyone else was kind of crashing each other at that point. And then I got a bit lucky, got up the inside when they made the mistake, and yeah, lasted first in one turn. It was quite cool.
All right, well, look, we're hoping the luck stays with you guys. You've been quick all weekend. Best of luck for this semi-final one.
Thank you very much.
Looking confident, I think, Jenny. They were super quick yesterday. They were super quick in free practice, but then the little problem with Katie's steering, you just don't want to be on the back foot right at the start of your competitive portion of the weekend. You'd rather have that issue really in free practice. They didn't, but Katie said, didn't she? Bad rehearsal, great. What was it? Great performance,
show,
great
yeah.
show. That was it. It was a great show. That race yesterday was a great show.
It was absolutely brilliant. It was so entertaining, and as Timmy said, to be able to go from last to first in one turn, so unusual. And there you go, you can see track nice and damp as well. Loads of seawater put on that just to make sure that the cars get their best shouts at going out there and delivering their best performance possible. So left to right it is Genesis Andretti United Extreme E, then the Acciona Science Extreme E team, and then Rosberg X Racing.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Copper X Prix. Semi-final 1 is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
So there are the drivers down on the grid. Interesting, Jenny. RXR have chosen to go on the inside. Now, yesterday when it's a 5-car race, if you remember, they chose slot number 3, which is where the Acciona Sainz machine is. They were in the middle of the grid. This time they've chosen the right-hand side. Johan said to us he felt slot 1 and slot 3 were the best on the grid. Oh, they had a terrible, super early start.
Yeah, really good start. So let's see what happens. Andretti United getting good traction on the left-hand side. Rosberg X Racing nowhere, and Acciona Sainz coming through the middle. Look at this, they're going to slingshot round to the right. At the moment, it's Sands. Munning's dropping back into third. Arlen Kotlinski right up the back of the Sainz and Acciona Sainz car.
Good move by Munning. She held back, didn't she? Looked to go on the inside line. I think they've had a problem. Have they gone slowly in the background? Katie Munnings is off the side of the track. So problem for Katie Munnings. What's happened to that machine? The Genesis Andretti United car. Was that just a mistake? She's lost tons of time and out the back. But the grid slot didn't work for RXR, did it? We thought, look how slippery it is now. The track's been wet down again, Jenny. You can see the number of inputs has gone up massively. Yeah,
so Leia Sands there. She's heading the field at the moment, and it is the Rosberg X Racing team. Remember, 2 go through from this, 1 will be out, and that is costly because they really want to get themselves through into this final to be in with a chance of stopping Rosberg X Racing from doing anything. So really important that Leia Sands keeps this car out in front and gets themselves through into the final.
I have to say, 3 cars is a lot easier than 5, isn't it? Looking at it compared to the qualifying races yesterday, that was an absolute cakewalk in turn 1, wasn't it? Turn 1 was carnage yesterday, and a lot simpler today with 3 cars. So maybe a different tactic from people. Just knowing there's a bit more space out there. Trying to see if there's a problem with what's Katie's splits like. We'll keep an eye on that and see if we can figure out. She doesn't seem to be losing much time now, so she was super high on the berm in the background. She backed off in turn 1 and looked to go up the inside of Arlen Kotlinski. So we're potentially, she can't see through the screen, which is the problem that yesterday Kristoffersen had. So Kristoffersen followed Scheider off around the side of the track. He said, I wouldn't have been able to see my own hand in front of the windscreen. I'm glad I had a car to follow. I was looking for the lights on the back end of the car.
Well, Sands and Sainz, a great team out there. The Acciona Sainz team have been fastest through many sessions this weekend. But just look, Arlen Kotlinski now starting to close up behind. She's looking to take the inside line. Can she get past Leia Sands? It's one thing getting to the back of the car, but Andrew, this course is not easy to pass on. No, it's not. Look how smooth that start straight is, though. That's the widest expanse of good track. You know, just where you could make the pass. We did see as well, Jenny, yesterday, people getting alongside each other on this next section. So they're going up now to ridgeline. They'll go left and left, and when they drop back down, here it is. You can see it in the centre of your screen now. When they drop back down to wide straight, Arlen Kotlinski, though, has dumped a couple of seconds in there in the first couple of corners. Yeah, fascinating to watch these two going out there and battling at different lines here over the summit. You can just see slightly closer to the flag, getting a little bit of nice air down there. They don't think they've used hyperdrive yet. No, they haven't. I wonder if they're saving it for an attempt on the Continental Traction Challenge. At the moment, that's going the way of RXR, but look at the front corner hanging off Arlen Kotlinski's bodywork there. With the track being this wet, I'm not convinced that the time will be there, Jenny. So they may have to wait until the final to see that the track is dry enough to stick those times in again. Yeah, really interesting, isn't it? You can still see the sand kicking up a little bit and the dirt out there. It is, I mean, you're going to have those windscreen wipers working well, aren't you, today, to really make the most of this. And if Katie did get bogged down because you couldn't see anything, certainly that's cleared. But she's going to hand this over to Timmy and hope that, fingers crossed, he can claw back some of that time as well. Brilliant performance here by Leia Sands. She's been absolutely on it all weekend, proving so again here. Little nose heavy for both of them over the jump, but this is advantage Acciona Sainz coming into the switch zone, but they need to get it right. Remember what happened in Q1? I'm sure they'll have practiced it a couple of times off track. They've got to get the braking right here as well, because this will be wet. Don't go into that zone too quickly. Oh, and she gets it all crossed up, but definitely down to 30. Well held, Leia Sands. Couldn't have been any later than that. Checks her mirrors, Jenny, both of them there to see where RXR are, and it's pretty much a half second between them. Yeah, we saw a little bit of fisticuffs there. Oh, look, Katie as well, managing to get all crossed up. It's very wet out there, very different conditions. Yesterday, they're going to have to brief their teammates on this as well. This is Katie, so watch what happens to Katie. She's, yeah, runs up high on the banking now. I reckon she may be looking for the wipers at that point. Then she ends up off the track on the inside. This is the onboard. So here she is on board. Watch now as they go through the puddle at the bottom of this dip. Oh, wow. Awful. So where are the wipers? Where's her hands? Where are her hands? Is she looking for the wipers? They're not working. She reaches down there on the dash. So let's go back into the switch bay then. Problems for Katie Munnings out there. Let's see what Timmy can do. I'm just listening in Spanish.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what Katie'd said.
So
all done, look.
Waiting to go. Bucket of water thrown over the windscreen as well. That's quite a good tactic to use. Engineers out, mechanics out. Cars going into drive now, and just look how tight that is between those two cars. It looked like Sainz managed to...
They've switched position. RXR have got them in the switch zone.
Wow. How do they manage to do that? That is going to be really interesting to watch back. You can see the Andretti United car just there as well. So there are 3 teams still in this, all waiting to go. Rosberg X Racing gets away first. Then it's Carlos Sainz chasing down Kristoffersen and Timmy Hansen behind them. When will they use hyperdrive? That's a question. Right, that's the answer then. Acciona Sainz and Genesis Andretti United using it right now, which means maybe RXR are going to wait and hold off and use it in a totally different place. Let's see.
This is an absolutely critical race for Acciona Sainz. So at the minute, they're going to go through to the final. Should they lose out to Andretti United? Remember, Genesis Andretti United are out of the championship fight, but we know they're very much on the pace. So if Hansen can get to the back of Carlos Sainz, he'll have a crack at him. If Acciona Sainz don't make it through to the final, they're out of the championship fight.
Bearing in mind, there are only 3 teams at the moment who can battle against RXR. Chip Ganassi Racing, Acciona Sainz and X44. Just look at the dirt coming up on that windscreen. There we go. Carlos Sainz deploys the windscreen wipers. And what is that gap now between Hansen and Sainz?
So at the minute, yes, there's a full 6 seconds, 6 and a bit seconds between them. Yeah, maybe 8 and a bit seconds now. I think Timmy's going to struggle to catch up with them. That's a big old gap to make up on, unless Carlos has some, you know, look at the visibility there. That's what happened to Johan yesterday. He said his washers were working, but not his wipers. Carlos, I think, had a little glance behind there in the mirrors just to see. The team will be on the radio as well. You can see the splits bottom left of your screen. Remember, the top 2 go through.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I was going to say there's no real benefit to pushing to get past RXR. Yes, they want to keep ahead of the Andretti United team, but the top 2 go through. Full stop.
Yeah, and I believe they've won grid play as well, Acciona Sainz, so they'll be able to pick their grid spot. Obviously, there's donations yet to come, but no one's going to help the RXR out, are they, in grid play? They're going to want them to get the worst possible grid slot.
All for one and one for all.
Yeah, so
wow, that was a big one.
Yeah, huge jump by Kristoffersen, but if you know that, here comes Carlos Sainz, and the gap, okay, so the gap has come down a little bit. Genesis Andretti United's Timmy Hansen flies over the start-finish line, and Kristoffersen is gapping Sainz, and that means now that the gap is less than 6 seconds between Carlos Sainz and Timmy Hansen, but it's a short lap, Jenny. He's only made up 2.5, 3 seconds on that first one. I still don't think there's quite enough time.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's saving his hyperdrive to use in the traction challenge, and he wants to set an even quicker time just to secure those 5 points. Remember, they lead by just 0.3 of a second over the closest rivals, McLaren. So they'll be really, really keen, I think, to try and set another blistering time so it's out of touch of everybody.
Yeah, let's see if Johan uses it. Yeah, last time out he used it on the run up the hill, that steep section up the hill. This is the long left-hander. Look at Carlos moving the car around. Watch it dive off now. Inoa hyperdrive, that's what we've been talking about. A boost in energy for 4 seconds. So this is the section where they drop down now to the right-hand side. They'll disappear off to the right. They go steep downhill, and it's the steep uphill where people use Inoa hyperdrive. Well, it certainly did. Sebastian Loeb and Cristina Gutierrez used it on the run down the hill towards the jump, which was a bit different. Kristoffersen in the background, and there it is. That's what we're talking about. So Inoa hyperdrive for Kristoffersen up. Watch him fly up over that crest. You saw the air time underneath. He's now coming down the hill, going to try and just nick another couple of tenths, see if they can hold on. But for me, look how slippery it is, Jenny. I don't think the time is there in the conditions.
Yeah, you said, didn't you, as soon as you saw how much water was down there, that it's going to be a really tough challenge to ask someone to go out there and try and beat their sector time. So we'll keep an eye on that. He's done a 35.846.
So Johan Kristoffersen, Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski, they can take the title here. They're putting themselves through to the final now. RXR are going to go through. Our Andretti United going to deny Acciona Sainz right at the finish line. Here comes RXR over the jump now. Kristoffersen, Arlen-Kotlinski, championship hopes alive. And Carlos Sainz holds on for Acciona Sainz by the slimmest of margins. Oh, Genesis Andretti United's Timmy Hansen with a gigantic jump over the finish line. But it is not quite enough. 0.3 of a second. Carlos Sainz has kept his and Laia Sanz's championship hopes alive by.
Wow, what a finish that was. Absolutely stunning. I want to see the photo of that because it'll be extraordinary. And I just wonder, the engineers will be on the radio, the communication system to say to them you're through, but Timmy Hansen, what a job he gave himself. That final sector was absolutely blistering. He went so half a second faster than the other drivers out there.
Please can we see Timmy Hansen's on board, basically from the top of the hill, isn't it? But I mean, really, I think it's that, Katie is so disappointed. They were so close. Oh, she's gutted, and she had the first corner thing, Jenny's just rubbish luck. She didn't, oh, bless her, you can see she's emotional and she knows.
That's why it hurts so much.
You did a brilliant job, Katie. It's just unlucky. The team know it's unlucky too. She's really disappointed. Katie Munnings, be proud of yourself. You're a great driver, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, so if you missed that bit, then we saw the water splash coming onto the windscreen, and she was blindsided totally, couldn't see anything, was looking for the windscreen wipers, and just went a little bit wide. To add to their day, car 23 is under investigation for a dropped flag at waypoint 13.
We might have made up a bit of time there, but it's irrelevant, isn't it? So this is Timmy Hansen now, look, coming up behind Carlos Sainz. His visibility's terrible, but he knows he only needs one thing, the red car. Come on, I'm going to try and get him. Huge jump over the line, and not quite. I tell you what, he's lucky not to collect Carlos over the line. Here it is, look, from the outside. Absolute monster, 0.3 of a second, Jenny. Give him another lap. Come on, I would like to have seen the fight go on. That was mega.
Absolutely brilliant. Both of them have driven extremely well this weekend. Just once again, they've been beset by issues. So frustrating for them. But Laura Winter is down there. She's catching up with everybody for us. And Katie Munnings, hopefully, will get a massive hug because she deserves it.
Well, Katie, I can see the bottom lips going and you're wiping away tears. We're all so sorry, and I can see how much this means to you. Just try and sum up the emotions right now and what went on in that first lap.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard, you know, we want to race. I just saw nothing, you know, into the first corner, they put loads of water on the track and it just sprayed on the windscreen. I couldn't get the washers to work, and so I ended up like on the bank trying to continue it. I just lost, you know, all the time there really, and then from there it's just so hard to make it back. Timmy is like an absolute legend. I just wish I could have done more for him today. He's been an amazing driver all weekend and he really deserved more. So we'll be coming back really hungry in Uruguay, I know that for sure.
Yeah, you will, and it's a team effort, Katie, so you've done your best. Thanks so much. Better luck next time.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh, so emotional.
So hard as well, so hard. Right. 6.79 seconds behind. It was third place, Andretti United. Acciona Sainz 6.43. Just look at the difference of that, so close. And then our winners going through, the first two going through, it's Arlen Kotlinski and Kristoffersen for RXR.
Wow. Just the emotion. If you don't get sport, you'll never understand the emotion that's involved. But yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. Every Location Extremely races a series of legacies projects are set up which help the local community and landscape in their battles against climate change. Here in Chile, the Atacama Desert, the championship is supporting a project which is reintroducing an endangered species of frog back to its natural habitat after the threat of extinction. Some of the Extremely drivers paid a visit to the project to learn all about it and help get ready for that reintroduction.
So today is Extremely's Legacy Programme Day. We've brought the drivers down. This is where we work with our communities to create long-lasting positive impact. And today it's all about the reintroduction of the lower water frog. It's actually a species which is found to be critically endangered. There was just 14 frogs left when they found it, and it doesn't exist anywhere in the world. It's only here. So it's been going through a breeding process currently in Santiago Zoo. They've successfully bred over 200 of the species now. And today is all about preparing their habitat so that they can be returned and hopefully thrive and survive. It's very important to the community, so of course it's important to Extreme E.
When you've been driving here, you've seen this desolated desert, and then you understand better the uniqueness of this place. Frogs are under threat globally, and this particular one has a minimal habitat, which is this important oasis. So this is why this project is so unique.
The drivers wasted no time getting suited and booted to start clearing the pond and uncovering the water.
Trying to chop our way through this greenery. We've got some water in here that we need to expose, so we can reintroduce some frogs. So get to work.
Well, it seems to be a bit more difficult than expected, but to be honest, everyone is doing well, and to know that we are doing something good for life, it's great. And like you see, NASA is on the run already, so we are getting forward and can't wait to clean up the area. Oh, good one.
My technique's getting better.
Yeah,
The thing I love the most about Extreme E is that you don't just go to an airport and then a city and then a hotel. You come somewhere like this that I would never have access to without being a part of this championship.
I think the legacy project part of Extreme E is critical. It's more about spreading awareness, and awareness is the first step of education that eventually leads to some sort of action, and that's the whole point of all of this, so I'm really proud to be a part of it.
There's something about race car drivers, isn't there? The competitive element. You're going to do something, you do it well. Just part of the chain here. So, yeah, good teamwork from everyone.
Andretti over there, McLaren, Ganassi over here. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Me and Nasser got some good teamwork going on. We got to the water. That's a win. So look at what we've done. It's really kind of crazy. We couldn't even see this deck before, and now it's completely visible, as well as we can finally see the water. It looks like very clear, clean water. And this is the perfect habitat for the frogs that we're going to be releasing back to this environment.
So let's take you back then to the start of the first qualifying, the first semi-final. And look at this. This is the moment where Munnings gets an absolute mud bath and can see no more. It brought on tears for her, and unfortunately that exit. But the battle was amazing. You can just see them coming around this corner, and that's where the mud shot slings up. Really tough. This is on board with the number 55, Laia Sands, who drove beautifully out there, I thought.
Yeah, she was brilliant. Really come into her own this season, hasn't she? She was saying how much she'd learned working with Carlos. We know she came from that bikes background. Anyone who rides bikes is super brave anyway, but it's a very different beast in terms of weight transfer, and she just, to me, she's on top of it. She's absolutely flying here.
Yeah, I spoke to a couple of bikers actually about the different muscle techniques that they need to use, and the steering inputs are so different from bike across to a very heavy car that the muscle training that you do on your forearms, fascinatingly different. There we go, there's a bit of niche information for you. This was the switch where they managed to get out early for RXR and hop across.
So it must have been a slow switch for Acciona Sainz, Jenny, because if it wasn't, then RXR would have been penalised for going, for going too early. So it's either later on the brakes at the actual stop into the box.
Well, when as you say, the mechanic was only just leaving, and as soon as he left, they went. So there was no hold for them at all, really. So that, yeah, as you say, just a little bit slower, a little bit clunkier in that zone, but it's not one of the elements they enjoy.
No, do you remember how close it was on the way in as well? Because Laia Sands was all crossed up on the brakes, and then Arlen Kotlinski closed that gap down. Christopherson managed to gap Sainz just a little bit. Look at the dust on the outside. That affects your visibility right at the point you're turning in. But this was that brilliant battle between Genesis Andretti United's Timmy Hansen and Carlos Sainz. Timmy closing him down right at the finish line. Just needed another couple of 100 metres.
Wowzers, bajowzers. That's just the first semi-final. Remember, there's another one coming. And then the crazy race as well. But just look at that finish. Absolutely stunning stuff. Great recovery drives all this weekend, really, from Andretti United. Unfortunately, just didn't work out quite enough for them. So this is over the ridge, waypoint 8. You can just see the different ways that the cars take it. So heavy, the impact, the suspension on these cars now absolutely brilliant.
This is the sideways in turn 1. This was Katie Munnings right at the start, so super slow-mo. You might well see, well, he didn't, so she went up high-low to try and get inside Arlen Kotlinski, and then she would have been high-low on turn 2 and would have got a better exit. It was a great tactic, but as she came through the high, Arlen Kotlinski went through the puddle in the low, and that was it, mud all over the screen, and Katie couldn't get the wipers on quickly enough.
Yeah, such a shame, but that Acciona Sainz car looking good, and both of them progressing through into the final. The championship still very much alive and kicking as things stand.
We've got another cracking semi-final to bring you, and one of the main men in that one is Carla Duke of number 99 Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing, third yesterday in quali. You keep saying you're dialed in. How was it out there yesterday for you in quali? What did you learn to take into some more side-by-side racing today?
Single car qualifying was good, but some of the craziness and chaos that happened in the 5-car race was obviously unplanned. But yeah, it's just a chaotic turn 1, the way they got it set up, pretty sharp 90, kind of asking for trouble. But all in all, I didn't really get a chance to race. We had some damage right on the first turn. Started with a slow leak in the right rear in the last, on that first turn also. So just compound of disasters. But I feel like we had a good race, had some inside-outside stuff. Me and Timmy were about to start having a good battle. And then I started overheating and had a flat. So it was just kind of a throwaway race. Really sucks, but we were able to get ourselves back together in the pits and get Sarah back out to at least finish and bring home a third.
Well, absolutely, and a semi-final position for today. Looking ahead to that, you've got X44 and Apt Cupra as well. What do you make of those two?
They're strong. I mean, obviously, you know, NASA's got a new driver next to him, so that's interesting. But you know, Seb's team is strong. X44, they're in the semifinals for a reason. So are we, and we want to go out there fighting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the goal for today, we keep saying, obviously, as second in the standings, you've got a chance to take it to Uruguay and keep RXR off the top step of the championship, and being crowned here, of course. What is the game plan?
We want to win races, obviously, but we want to be in the main event to do that. So the finals are important for us as a team, as a sponsor, as drivers, and so we want to get that done. So Semi-2 is very important for us to get there and do it efficiently and with our truck in good shape for the finals.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You've got to get to the finish line ultimately. And after the craziness of yesterday, how much anticipation do you have for this side-by-side racing?
It's good because we'll only have 3 cars on this time, so there's a little more room to squeeze around and play. So super excited. Really look forward to getting the Hummer GMC truck out there and just try to put those guys behind us and girls and try to have a good race. That's all we can do.
Well, Sarah will take it out. You'll bring it home. Good luck. Thanks very much, Carl. OK, let's head in now to X44. Of course, they've made the final for a reason. I've got Christina here next to me. You'll be starting. Yeah. Talk me through the game plan for this semi-final.
It's secret.
Oh, come on, Christina.
No, I try to push from the beginning. It's important the start, like always. So I try to have a clean start and then fight for the first or second one.
And Seb, you'll be bringing it home, of course, Michaela with the all-important start. What's the mindset for you in this semi-final with Apt Cupra and Chip Ganassi alongside you?
Yeah, the main thing will be to finish the 2 first, so not to be last of the heat, because first or second we will be getting in the final. So the goal will be to have a clean race, try to get the good rhythm, get a good start for Christina, and try to survive until the end.
What did you learn yesterday from, I think, 2 pretty crazy races, certainly the first one a bit crazier than yours, to take into today to really fight for the all-important position in the final?
Yeah, I think we need to be clean, especially in the first corner, because it's too tight. Okay, now we are 3 cars. It's not like yesterday because we were 5 cars in the heat. The thing is to be intelligent and to try to do our best like always.
Well, thank you both very much and best of luck. Semi-final 2 coming up, and it's going to be a good one.
Semi-final 2, another 3 cars will be on that start line. 2 are going through, and again it's going to be pretty crucial for X44, Vida Carbon, and for GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing. If they want to keep that championship alive, Apt Cupra XE are not going to make that very easy for them. That, of course, is Clara Anderson and Nasser Alatia, who is down in the command centre.
Nasser, lovely to be speaking to you, and this is a pretty important race. You've got a pivotal part to play in it, haven't you?
Yes, actually, you know, we are so happy to be raced today, and yeah, it will be not easy, you know, for everybody, but okay, we try to do our job, and we'll see if we are reach the final or no.
Nasser, Clara Anderson's joined you this weekend. Obviously, we're glad that Jutta is recovering, but how good a job is Clara doing? I thought she was brilliant yesterday.
I think she did an amazing job, you know, because for first time, you know, to jump and to learn a lot with the teams, she did really amazing, you know. We are so proud and so happy to have Clara with us.
Fantastic. Wishing you both the best of luck, all right? Go for it.
Thank you. We'll do it. Thank you.
Great stuff. So nice to see him so complimentary of Clara. And it's a very good point about the jumps, Jenny. These cars jump a little bit differently than the cars that Clara's done loads of jumping in rallycross, but not like this. There's several jumps on this track. And we saw, obviously, with what happened to Jutta during free practice on Friday, that you've got to get it right. So she's doing a good job. I had a couple of messages from her overnight saying she's just trying to get the feel of what the limit of this different car is.
Yeah, they're so much heavier than the cars that she'll be used to, and everybody else has had a really kind of long lead in by now, haven't they? A lot of the drivers have been here since the beginning of the championship, so they've had a couple of seasons now, and certainly she's come into an aggressive circuit. I think this is one of the most hostile environments we've ever been to.
Well, I think you're certainly hostile in terms of, you see these, it's absolutely stunning, isn't it? But it's, yeah, environmentally very hostile. But what was interesting to me is the drivers were hinting that they felt turn 1 was a bit hostile. You know, Kyle Leduc was saying it's 90 degrees. They're asking for it. And the same from Gutierrez. You know what? Unlucky. The tracks are all different, and I quite like the fact that the drivers are challenged in different ways. That's the point, isn't it, of us travelling around the world to find these brilliant locations, highlight some of the issues, and give them a different challenge each time. Yeah, this time turn 1's tight.
Right, I need to pick your brains on this, Andrew Coley, extraordinaire. We have 3 teams, Chip Ganassi Racing and the X44 Vida Carbon teams. They would love to go through and try and stop Rosberg X Racing from being the champions this weekend. However, the Abt Cupra team will still want to go out there and do as best they can. Is there any form of alliance that can be made between these 3 that can help them either try and get the Traction Challenge score or help them go through? What can they do to work together against RXR? No offence. In short,
the only thing that can be an alliance really is if the 2 teams who are within that title fight go through, so Chip Ganassi Racing and X44. But there's no way Abt Cupra are going to give them that. They're last in the championship and they want to score some big points in this one.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Copper X Prix. Semi-final 2 is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Sebastian Loeb in the command centre, not got his lid on yet. Kyle Leduc is going for it, as is Nasser Al-Attiyah. It's a pretty short first couple of laps, remember, even with a 2-lap run, they're round it and done inside 5 minutes. The drivers are allowed to leave the command centre and head down there ahead just a little bit, and there they are on the line ready to go. So you have the Abt Cupra XE team. They will start on the right, as you see it on the screen. In the middle, it'll be the GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing team. And then on the far side, as you can see, getting ready, Cristina Gutierrez in there for the X44 Vida Carbon Racing. These are your 3 teams. 2 of them will go 3 and 4 laps await them. Getting pumped up now, Clara Anderson, just having a few words with herself, banging her biceps, going, come on, let's go. Reaches down to the dash, gets that car into the right mode and good to go. Well, tension building here, remember, this is semi-final 2. Carlos Sainz, Leia Sanz, Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski and Johan Kristoffersen have already got their cars through. Who will join them? Here we go, there's the 15-second light. You saw the board go white down there in this stunning backdrop. They won't have any time to look at that as they're about to fire it up towards turn 1. Can Anderson deny Price or Gutierrez on the run to the first corner? She's done plenty of rally crosses. She won't mind getting her elbows out here. We know how wet those first corners were. Sarah Price moves across immediately on Gutierrez, and he's out front of Gutierrez. So Price now can get that car in from the outside, but up the inside line. Gutierrez going to go inside into turn 1. I thought Sarah Price would have a nice line. Whereabouts is Anderson? Anderson trying to come around the outside. So it's Gutierrez leads. Anderson does get up the inside of Sarah Price. Sarah Price high on the banking now. Oh, she's gone all the way around the outside. So Sarah Price has held onto that position in the background. Still just in front. She's just in front of Clara Anderson. So Anderson P3, Price P2, and Gutierrez is the leader. Anderson looking for a way round. Can she get past Price? That's the question. X44 out in the front. They are leading the way with Gutierrez. But look, Anderson takes the inside line, really hugging through to that waypoint. Is she going to get foxed out? No, she manages. They come down together, and Price just about holding on. I thought she was going to get through there, Jenny. Said, didn't we, that Anderson wouldn't mind getting stuck in once we got to the racing portion. We know she's been feeling her way into this car. This is a great opportunity to follow the other cars and see where people are making up time. Meanwhile, out front, the gap is up to 2.76 seconds. There's an idea of the visibility. Wipers are on. It's smearing the dirt over the screen. It's just not the greatest look, is it, in terms of seeing exactly where you're going. I think Sarah Price as well got a pretty mucky screen. Another good reason to try and get out front, especially early when the track's been watered with this seawater.
Yeah, they're 3 seconds down at the moment from that lead car, the X44, and they're really trying to claw it back and find a way to pull up that space and get through it. As things stand, it would be the first 2 cars going through, X44 and Chip Ganassi Racing. Look at that, though. Wow.
Yeah, on the nose, wasn't it, for Gutierrez? Now, we've mentioned a little bit about the Continental Traction Challenge and the fact the track's been watered. Just so you know, obviously, this water in the area is scarce. This is untreated seawater, which is pumped in for the mine, and the mine is doing its best to produce copper, which we all need for things like electric vehicles in future. So they're not using any of the scarce water that is locally for this. They're using the same pipeline that the mine uses. Now, what's key here is we don't think the Continental Traction Challenge can be done in these conditions. And Jenny, Johan Christopherson just sent me a message saying, I reckon maybe in the crazy race it'll be dry enough. And of course, that's when Neon McLaren XE are out, and they're second quickest in those standings at the minute.
Good intel, I love that. Brilliant stuff. Right, let's see. The gap still very close between these 2 chasing cars at the moment. Price coming round. Anderson trying to claw in. It looks like that gap's coming down. It's 3 seconds there or thereabouts. Look, Anderson still looking for a way through. She's trying to hug the inside line. Can she do that? Not quite yet. Price slams the door shut there. She's got the inside line now as well, so a little bit of an advantage. Can Clara come back in and take the shorter run? She's going to try it again. Price does a little wiggle. She loses a bit of control, and Anderson manages to go through. This is disastrous for Chip Ganassi Racing. They need to finish in the top 2 to go through to the final and keep this championship challenge alive for them.
They're also the closest team, don't forget, to RXR. They're in P2 on 43 points, just 32 back, so they're the team who are the most likely to challenge. They've also got a win, remember, on countback. If they could get another win here, that would make a big difference. So this is a bit of a disaster for them, and Anderson just managed to sneak under Price. She teed her up from a little way back. I reckon she was very big in Price's mirrors, Jenny, all over her for the previous few corners. Price went defensive. Anderson got her on the exit.
Wowzers. That was really, really good driving from someone who's brand new to this championship. She's doing an extraordinary job in the Abt Cupra car. Out front, X4 Vita Carbon Racing are leading this way, and they will still have to do their switch. Look, over the jumps at 17, out of the Continental Traction Challenge. As you say, times way off where they were yesterday, about 3 seconds off, but this is the more difficult round to do it on.
I'm looking forward to seeing Nasser Al-Attiyah versus Kyle Leduc for that P3, because it's absolutely crucial for the championship for one of them. Now, super late on the brakes. Gutierrez, remember, all locked up. You can see all locked up. Got to get it down to 30 kilometers an hour. Oh, she was late, Jenny. If she was speeding on the way in there, they'll get a penalty for that. That could have a massive effect as well. Imagine if X44 Vita Carbon Racing don't go through.
Yeah, you get an extra second for every kilometre per hour that you are over that limit, so it's absolutely crucial. We're going to have a quick look at the overtake. This is Clara Anderson coming around on Sarah Price. You can just see she tees it up there. Price goes a little wide, takes a wiggle, and on the inside line, Anderson gets through. That is the deal done.
Just a classic move. Yeah, Price was defensive on the way in. If you go defensive on the way in, you run wide on the way out, and Anderson knew it was coming and just slotted up the inside. In jumps Sebastian Loeb. We know how fast he is. He's got a lead at the minute of 3.2 seconds on the way into the switch, as long as this is clean. And assuming Gutierrez didn't speed on the way in, Sarah Price finishes off for Kyle Leduc. But the real battle, Jenny, is going to be top 2 through. It doesn't matter really which one of those you get. You've got to be in the top 2, and it couldn't be tighter.
Oh, water chucks over the car. You can just see it coming through a little bit. Not to worry. So this is a great tie. This is Nasser Al-Attiyah, Kyle Leduc, Sebastian Loeb, and somehow they've managed to get out first, the Abt Cupra team. Okay, that's slot position, but they were moving first. So at the moment, it's the X44 team. They are out in front, then Abt Cupra, and then Kyle Leduc will try and chase them all down.
Have Abt Cupra gone early?
That's what I worry about.
Yeah, looking at the splits on the way in, the splits were... No, they were 3.2 behind X44, but then they were right there, if you remember, when because Gutierrez went back on the brake after the board. Well, either way, that's the gaps as it is. We'll keep an eye out on the race control screen and see if we get any messages. But Sebastian Loeb leads at the minute behind Nasser Al-Attiyah chasing. And here comes Kyle Leduc. He's got to go absolutely maximum attack here if he wants to keep that GMC Hummer EV in the title fight.
Yeah, it's the worst place that they could possibly have thought they'd be at the end of this, but there's still 2 laps out there to try and hunt them down. Al-Attiyah closing the gap as well on Sebastian Loeb. It's coming down. It's under 3 seconds now. And over over 3 seconds again. It's very tight.
Super tight between them, isn't it? Loeb can manage that gap. That doesn't matter. And what matters for Alatia, look at that sideways down the slope with Kyle Leduc chasing down Alatia. He's flat out here. Can he get that gap to come down? It's under 3 seconds now. It was just over 3 seconds between Leduc and Alatia. This is the battle, remember.
There's just, I mean, he's just got to throw everything at it. Every trick in the box, every tool that he has, everything has got to go into this. It is this or no championship battle anymore for this GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi racing team as they go up the hill for the first time. Let's see how the dismount goes. Pretty smooth, pretty nice. Traction gained again, and now the hunt is on.
Beautiful job on the jump there. You could see he had the car rotated before he was where he wanted to be. Runs the car out over the outside line. Might have lost a bit of time there. Hasn't got outside any of the waypoints. Going to fly this jump, surely. What's the gap now? Has it gone up just a little bit? So maybe a bit of time lost. Leduc, though, is fully committed. This is what we want to see.
Absolutely. Hunting down all the time. Out in front, the X44 car takes the final hunt. They've got one more lap of this amazing, stunning, short track that is challenging all of our drivers. Wow, there comes the Abt Cupra car. This is great stuff. Chip Ganassi hunting them down. As you can see, the gap staying fairly solid now. Out at the front, 4 seconds, almost 4 seconds ahead. It's the X44 car, but look at Leduc. He's going for it.
He had to turn out there, Jenny. Pitched it in early. I think he thought he was going to catch the waypoint flat. Just flung the car out a little bit. Look, he is absolutely using every single inch of this track. And the gap now is just over 2 seconds. Sideways from Alatia on the exit. Chip Ganassi Racing closing down the gap now with Kyle Leduc. Can he make a pass and keep the championship alive on this final lap? It's visible now, the gap. Super close between them.
Just look what Leduc's doing. He's going to try the same move that Anderson pulled on Price earlier on. Can he manage to get it? Huck's close in. Takes the jump.
This is win it or bin it time. You've got to go for it now. He's got to absolutely light the fuse. Nasser Alatia uses his Inoa hyperdrive to try and up that gap in the background over the crest sideways. Kyle Leduc is going to save that. Where's he going to use it to try and close the gap further? Can he get him in that final corner? We saw Loeb make a pass there yesterday. This is on.
So let's see what happens then. Can Leduc hunt down Alatia? That is the question. Still got his Inoa hyperdrive to use. When is he going to prime that to make his final bit to try and get into the final? That is the question as we see them coming round. Not long to go now. They're coming down the ridge. Brilliant jumps from them both. And you can just see the gap staying pretty steady. He needs to try and eat into that far more.
He was wide, Jenny. He was wide after the jump, and he's run wide again. Going to lost a bit of time there, and that's advantage to Abt Cupra.
So they're coming round. You can see X44. They look like they've got this in the bag. They use their Inoa hyperdrive right now. Sebastian Loeb up the front. Behind him, it is Alatia, and that gap has grown again. So it looks like it will be X44. Here, Leduc using his hyperdrive to try and claw that place back, but it looks like it's too little, too late. And Chip Ganassi Racing are out. They have not got through to the final of this, and that means they will not be able to win this championship. They cannot fight or battle with Rosberg X Racing.
Oh, I thought it was on in the middle of the race. It was just, I mean, Kyle was on such a hard push, wasn't he? Clara Anderson on her debut, Jenny. If you were handing out business cards for a future drive, you couldn't hand out a better one than that, could you? Makes a pass in the semi-final to put her and Nasser Alatia and Abt Cupra through to the final. They're in last place in the standings, and that is just an incredible... Look at the smile on Nasser's face. You can't see it behind his fireproof balaclava, but the eyes tell you everything.
Brilliant combination of drivers. Alatia, defensive, did exactly what he needed to do under so much pressure from Leduc. I mean, Leduc piled it on, but just look, the reaction to this is going to be like they won.
Well, fantastic performance there. P3, unlucky for Sarah Price and Kyle Leduc. The Hummer EV for Chip Ganassi Racing not going through, and that's their championship hopes over, unfortunately. P2, Clara Anderson with an amazing drive, and her teammate Nasser Alatia bringing it home for Abt Cupra. And Gutierrez and Loeb going through for X44 Vida Carbon.
Well, I think we need to get our breath back. That was utterly riveting, but heartbreaking for the Chip Ganassi Racing team. Let's go down to Laura Winter.
Oh, Sarah, just walking alongside you, and I can feel the frustration coming from you, the disappointment. Championship fight is over with that result. Just sum up your emotions for me right now.
Yeah, it's a big bummer for sure. You know, we gave it our all.
on the track, you know, I was pushing, but at the same time, I felt like I just couldn't get any more. And yeah, we didn't make it right now. That's a bummer.
The battle for P2 is still on. It's still tight there, but of course X44 and Acciona Science are both through to that final. So work to do in the next round for you guys.
Definitely a lot of work to do in the next round.
All right, Sarah, we'll let you go and see your team. Thank you. Commiserations today.
Such a shame, and they're the only other team with a win to their name, so count back now becomes irrelevant. They can't win this weekend, and it looks like Rosberg X Racing are a tiny step closer. Another finger on the trophy, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if they won the final round, they'd have 2, and RXR would have 2 if they don't win here. But oh no, they can't get to them on points. They're too far back. So the minimum now that RXR can score is a further 10, Jenny, for P5 in the final. And of course, the maximum that Chip Ganassi Racing can score with the Hummer EV is, let me see, it's going to be 6 points because they're not faster. Yeah, I think they're going to end up 7th in the standings. So that's going to put them on 49 points. And RXR are going to be on 85, so the gap's too big. The gap's too big.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Andretti United. They are behind Chip Ganassi Racing in the Traction Challenge. So at the moment, those are the 2 teams that have gone out at this stage. So as you say, it would be Chip Ganassi Racing getting the 8 points.
OK, so they get another, yeah, but it's still not enough, is it? Still not enough when we work it out. So there's 30 points available, remember, 25 for the win and 5 for a Continental Traction Challenge. So, yeah. Disappointing. Disappointing. Look at this. This was the moment. So Clara Anderson, look, is on the right-hand side of the track now. Sarah Price runs the car deep. As she comes over the crest, she's on the inside, and then Anderson looks now to make the pass. Just gets up there, nice, slots it over the crest now. Sarah Price gets the better exit here, look, and actually gains a bit of time on the straight, but it's too late. Job done. Unbelievable pass. Great job by Clara Anderson, and she is with Laura Winter now. I reckon we're going to see some smiles here.
I'm joined by a beaming Clara Anderson. Andrew Carey has just said it was an unbelievable overtake. Talk us through it and talk us through the plan as well. Was it an opportunity thing, or did you actually tactically begin to plan what you were going to do?
No, I think like first lap I struggled a bit with the windscreen, as I've heard many drivers had, but yeah, coming on to the second lap I knew that that was the opportunity that I wanted to take. So just, you know, lining the car up, and yeah, it was a good overtake.
Debut weekend, you were here as a championship driver. I was going to jump in a lap with you just for a VIP hot lap. Now you're here racing and you're in the final. Can you sum it up?
Oh no, I'm just so happy.
She's the best.
Yeah, Nasser, I mean, how good was that overtake?
Absolutely, it was fantastic. She did an amazing job, you know. We are so proud of her, you know, and now we are in the final.
Yes.
We do our best.
Yes, we do our best.
I love it. Good luck to you guys. Brilliant story. Thank you.
Look at the support in the team, Jenny. It's brilliant. Nasser coming out in the middle of the interview and going that she's the best. Oh.
And this, in contrast.
Yeah.
Oh, so tough, isn't it? So tough. The highs and lows of motorsport, and it is a heartbreaker when it doesn't go your way.
Listen to Clara in the background. I'm just so happy. I've just said you would be, wouldn't you? I'm happy for her too, because you rarely get these opportunities as a young driver, whether you're male or female. You know, it's hard to raise the budget to come and race in any series. When you get that one little opportunity, Jenny, you know how important it is in any series you've got to take, and she's grabbed it with both hands.
She has, and I know Jutta Kleinschmidt will have been watching on potentially and absolutely cheering her on. Just look at that App Cooper car going around. Really difficult for all the personnel there to actually change and adapt so quickly to a different driver, but they've done it brilliantly. This again, the move from Anderson going through the inside. Price just losing a little control on that Hummer EV, and unfortunately for her, job done.
It's actually, you can see, can't you? Clara had spotted it on lap 1, hadn't she? And Sarah Price, to be fair, did well in turn 2. I thought Clara had got her in turn 2 on the banking. Price kept it lit and went all the way around the outside. The strangest thing for me, Jenny, was they got the best start. They were a full couple of car lengths ahead on the straight and then got out dragged down. Now, I don't know if Price lost some traction further up the rev range, or whether she was earlier on the brakes, whether the road was smoother on either side. But that start straight is proving interesting.
Yeah, it can be decisive, can't it? Just look, coming down that large summit and really trying to battle these cars together. That's where we thought she had it first time round. Yeah, you're absolutely right. She had a good look. Wasn't to be. The switch zone You can just see Sarah trying to help out Kyle as much as possible. Now, nothing's come up on race control to say that anyone had any infringements, so this is just the way that it rolls out sometimes. Now it's having a little shower midway through, nice.
Yeah, and at Cooper, but they moved first. Of course, they're in a switch bay that's further back. We thought they'd gone early, and they haven't at all. They just did a perfect switch, got out bang on 45 seconds. Kyle Leduc, I think, could have got there, but I think still, even if he'd been closer to Nasser Al-Attiyah, it would still have been exceptionally hard to pass. Look at the jump. That was Kyle Leduc's jump. It's got to be one of the biggest jumps of the weekend. He absolutely sent it. He threw everything at it. Watch here, look, he comes wide, runs the car out over the outside line, in the dirt. You know, it's maximum attack, and we've loved watching Kyle Leduc all season. We've got another race to go. Going to see them in Uruguay, and of course, with the pressure off of the championship, Jenny, sometimes that can unleash that little bit of extra performance where you go, I've got nothing to worry about now, let's get it.
Yeah, they'll have those sweet memories of getting the win last time out, but unfortunately wasn't to be this time round. And as you say, round 5 coming at the end of November, and they will be looking to end on a slightly higher note. Now, remember, we're here to try and highlight some of the climate crisis, and everybody in the paddock does their best to do their bit. Extreme E was carbon net zero from season 1, and they have a ban on single-use plastic at race sites, saving 75,000 single-use water bottles in season 1 alone.
Fantastic job, isn't it? Every little detail counts. Very impressive work. So taking a look at some super slow motion action from semi-final 2. This is turn 1. Just sending the cars over that crest. Slippery, you can see the dirt, you can see them feeling for the grip levels. There's still wet areas on the track. Look at this, Sarah Price, I thought here had already lost out. Look how dirty her screen is, but she keeps her foot in, goes around the outside of Clara Anderson. At this point in the race, she holds on to that position.
Yeah, brilliant driving from Price there early on around the slingshot, which is a banked section, a little bit similar to Zandvoort, if you've been watching Formula 1 and the Dutch Grand Prix recently. And you can just see here, Clara trying desperately to find a way around, and we know so difficult to overtake here.
I love seeing just the small steering inputs there, just the little inputs that you need. So this is what's coming up. We've got the crazy race. 4 cars in this one, but only one of them is going to go through. And we saw yesterday, the 5-car races were pretty carnage.
Yep. If you thought yesterday's action was a little bit crazy in qualifying, it's going to get a whole lot more interesting as these 4 cars battle it out for that one final spot. Beautiful place, but very harsh and challenging conditions to find yourself in as a racing driver. Let's go down to Laura Winter ahead of the crazy race.
It's almost time for the crazy race, the last chance for the final 4 cars to make it through to the final, but just one will do it. Is that enough pressure for you, Tamara Molinaro of Excite Energy Racing? I'm just piling it on here, but the crazy race is do or die, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, even the semi-final, you know, it's not that much easier. But for sure, you know, 4 cars and 1 place to the final, it's for sure making it a bit more tricky.
What did you learn yesterday? What have you Timo been talking about and looking at this morning to make sure that you are that car through?
Well, you never know what happens. You know, we have a plan for sure. So we have to try to. I have to try, especially at the start, to put it in place. But yeah, like I said, you never know. Like even yesterday, we were P3 and we were not too far off. And then you know, we had the problem with the drive shaft, and then the steering arm broke. So you have to be a bit lucky as well.
Well, you clearly have some pace though this weekend. Talk to me about that start as well. The grid position is important, but also getting the right line into turn 1 because it gets tight.
Yeah, for sure. That's I think the trickiest part of the whole race. You know, then you can quite manage somehow, but the start and the first corner is the most crucial part, let's say.
Well, thank you very much, Tamara. I'm going to go speak to one of your crazy race rivals now, but best of luck to you. Thank you. That's Excite Energy Racing, just one of the 4 teams in that crazy race. As I say, 1 car making it through to the final. It really is do or die. And we're now going to speak to Veloce, who, when we came over earlier, actually, just to make sure Lance was ready to go, Lance and GZ's here as well, they were checking their windscreen wipers. Are they looking good after what just happened to Katie Munnings?
Yeah. It's something we noticed in our last race as well. There's a bit of a dead spot on the windscreen with the water spray, so we wanted to fix that now, so Chris has full visibility.
How are you feeling ahead of the start here?
Good. Obviously, I'm excited, and hopefully this time we're going to get both laps in. So let's see how it goes.
I mean, it's one chance saloon, isn't it? What's the mindset?
Well, I think we've got to go for it. You know, Chris has got a hard job up until the first corner against a lot of, you know, rallycross experienced people, but we got a good start in all of our starts so far, so full confidence she can do it. She's got to bring the car in the front or close to the front, and then, yeah, it'll be a fight to the end always.
Full confidence, full send. Good luck to both of you. Thank you.
Here's your lineup then for the crazy race. Veloce, Excite Energy Racing, Neon McLaren Extreme, and JBXE. Only one of those four can go through. There in the background is the map of the track they're going to do battle on very shortly.
So conditions have changed a lot since last night. We've seen that seawater being put down on the track, which has just slowed it a little bit, although it means less dust, but it does mean more mud, worth bearing in mind. 4 cars on the grid, waiting to go, and we can give you right up close and personal to the action, because Timo Scheider is standing by waiting to talk to us. Timo, track conditions look very different to yesterday. Are you excited to get out there?
Yeah. First of all, good morning. Yeah, we have seen the track looks quite different to yesterday. We have seen as well in semi 1 and 2 that track is also slippery on top of all the pedals and water you see. So you have to take care on one side, but for us now basically it's just one chance. So we have to send it all in like we have done yesterday. We tried hard. The speed is high, so that's good. So we, of course, try to take the chance and make it to the final.
The 3-car races we've just seen, Timo, have been pretty sensible in turn 1, but yesterday's 5-car races were a bit carnage. This is a 4-car race. What can we expect?
Well, I told Tamara to do it the same way like I did, so I just sent it flat out in turn 1, took the lead. So took the lead, and elbows out, there's no question, right? So I think it's just one chance to go, and we have to take it anyway.
So, Timo, we've got to ask, what happened yesterday when you went wide over the end of the ridge? Because 3 people followed you. What was going on in the car? I know loads of people have visibility issues. What was your issue?
Actually, my issue was not the dust or anything, so I was just overexcited on one side. On the other side, I have to say I talked a lot about this corner, the last 2 combinations, 7 and 8, and I took more speed over the crest, and suddenly I ended up super wide and couldn't make the corner anymore. So I was like surprised by myself that I was off track. But yeah, I took the train behind with Lance and with Johan. So yeah. Anyway, I have to say it was the coolest racing so far I've ever had in Extreme E. So I enjoyed racing at least a lot.
It was brilliant. Timo, thank you so much. Best of luck in this session. Remember, only one team can go through. JBXE, Neon McLaren, Excite Energy, Veloce Racing.
So cars on the line, nerves building. 2 laps for each of the drivers. Here we go.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Copper X Prix. The crazy race is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Timo Scheider said it, didn't he? The Timo train. That's what Johan called it as well. So is there going to be a Molinaro train in turn 1? Well, it was actually about turn 4, wasn't it, I think, up at the end of the ridge line. Kevin Hansen,
7-8,
yeah.
7-8, that's what you want to watch out for if they're going to do a double bluff on everybody.
So looking at the starting drivers, look, JBXE were the only team this weekend to field their male driver in the different slots. So basically you've got Christine GZ, Tamara Molinaro, Emma Gilmore, and then Kevin Hansen. That's from left to right as you're looking at it. There is Emma Gilmore, the New Zealander, takes a deep breath. And she actually said it was a relatively short journey for her. I'm guessing she went the other way round to everyone else travelling around the globe to get all the way to Chile. And Emma, being from New Zealand, obviously had a different route. There's Tamara Molinaro, looking pretty chill. Christine GZ, who yesterday definitely needed to find some confidence. I hope she finds it now.
So, Excite Energy, if they want to win this championship, still need to get through this round. They are the only team still in contention, but McLaren have been really impressive so far this week. Emma Gilmore being fastest of the females yesterday, fastest of everybody yesterday in sector 2, 10 seconds.
Crazy race from Chile, 4 into 1. Only one can go through. Who's going to get it done this time? Green light about to come on. Oh, really great reaction time on the inside from Christine GZ. Got a brilliant start. Tamara Molinaro went backwards, but it's Emma Gilmore who surges into the lead for Neil McLaren XE. Kevin Hansen going to try and go with her. Can Christine GZ go late enough on the brakes up into the first corner? It's Emma Gilmore on the inside line, looking like she's going to get the whole shot. Kevin Hansen tries to go around the outside. Sideways for JBXE. Emma comes in now, needs to keep it low on the bank and keep Kevin behind her. He's putting her nose up the inside from the JBXE machine, but it's Gilmore leading for Kevin Hansen in the background. Christine GZ gets past Tamara Molinaro, and finally they're in a line.
Well, just look at this out front. It is Emma Gilmore, and she's trying to put a little bit of space now between her and Hansen. She wants a little bit more comfort. They go over at 8. This is where they all went the wrong way last time out, so all eyes on this. And you can just see that Molinaro still trying to get back to GZ. So 2 separate camps here, haven't we, at the moment? It's McLaren XE and JBXE at the front, and then Veloce and Excite trying to chase in their own little battle.
You're riding on board with Molinaro here at the back of the pack. Wipers are on, full water sprays on, desperately trying to find a way past Christine GZ. Meanwhile, Emma Gilmore will be trying to keep the door shut as the dirt flies up at the bottom of the hill. Then you've got a damp screen, then the dirt sticks to it. Kevin Hansen grits his teeth as he comes up over the crest. Only one car can go through, remember. It's irrelevant what else happens in this race. You must cross the finish line first. Gilmore got an absolute banger of a start, didn't she?
Absolutely did. She was on it. She really gave it a push, and then it was just a drag straight up to turn 1. This is the Continental Traction Challenge exit point 17. How you dismount, that can be crucial. And just look at the speed that they're trying to bring through. And Kevin now all over the back, all over the back.
Yeah, Hansen's got the exit. We saw Sebastian Loeb get yesterday, looks to the inside line, doesn't want to knock that flag down like Loeb did. Emma Gilmore runs a little bit wide. Kevin Hansen trying to get alongside, side by side over the jump. Hansen passes on the inside as they teed that up from the final corner on one wheel over the jump in the background as well. I didn't even see whether it was Veloce or Excite Energy Racing, but Kevin Hansen takes the lead. Now Gilmore's just got to go with him and give Faust a chance of getting back at Hosas on the second section.
Look, she's battling. She's trying for the inside line. She's trying to get back at Kevin. Kevin had such speed. He copied his brother's move, I think, Timmy, from the last round, but really blindsided again for Emma Gilmore. She's having to use those wipers a lot, and you can tactically really try and chuck dirt at your opponents, can't you, to just give them the hardest route possible. The Noah Hyperdrive still waiting to be used for these drivers. Where will they deploy it to get the maximum attack? Because Gilmore is looking for any way to close that gap in front of her from Hansen.
So she's got a choice to use it now, potentially on the straight, gain a bit of extra time. They're all running the cars out wide. It is such a wide straight. Now Gilmore moves across to the left-hand side to give herself a better line up to the top here. Through the right and the left over the crest. Very much still there. Wipers are on. Look at this dirt stuck on the screen. You're on board now with the New Zealander. First female driver ever from McLaren doing a brilliant job. Come on, Emma, get after him.
Yeah, those McLaren colours in the sunshine look absolutely resplendent. Oh, a little bit of correction needed for Kevin. He literally went a little bit wide, but at the same time, Emma took a flag down.
No, there's a flag at the bottom of the hill. I didn't know if Kevin had hit it. So dropped flag, waypoint 13:42.
42
previous
is
lap. It would have
Excite
been
Energy, so it would have been previous round. So it won't affect these two. Excite then probably out of this running, even though they're not in the top 2. But just look, the gap has grown a little bit more between Gilmore and Hansen. So car 42 under investigation, likely to get a 5 to 10 second penalty. Look at those two battling it out as well. Christine GZ really fighting. It looks like she might get through on the inside. Can she do it? She's pushing, she's pushing. She can't quite make it stick this time round. Let's keep an eye out on the switch zone as well. That's looming for all our drivers. Crucial to get the speed down, scrub it off so you can get to 30 kilometers an hour. And all 4 cars now into the switch zone.
Great stuff on the first lap. Absolutely stunning start by Emma Gilmore. She did so well to hold Kevin off. Kevin teed up the move like we saw Sebastian Loeb do yesterday on Science. The difference being Kevin didn't down a flag. Now on that second lap, we then saw the down flag, and I wondered, because you'd said, Jenny, hadn't you? Kevin had a moment at the bottom there, and I thought, had he knocked it down, but he hadn't. It's from the previous lap. Here you are, look. This is looking back at Tamara Molinaro. And you're on board with Christine GZ. Look at the rocks flying. Oh, my goodness me. What a save by Molinaro.
Wowzers, our newbies this weekend are really having to show their mettle, aren't they? Molinari doing a great job, Clara Anderson before. Just look at the concentration. This is Hedda Hossas. She knows the responsibility she has right now. She is going to have Tanner Faust all over the rear end of her JBXC, and she is going to have to defend like crazy.
Yeah, she is, because Faust is no slouch. Tanner Faust is an off-road racing expert. He really is. Waiting for the OK from his team, gets the car into drive, and off he goes. So Faust now, for Neon McLaren Extreme E, has to try and close down a gap of around 4 seconds. This was contact on the way into the switch in the background, and that's just where you can see. Oh dear, well that's because Excite Energy needed to get to the left, and obviously Veloce were there already. So 4 seconds is the gap. Can Faust close that down for Neil McLaren Extreme E and get past the JBXE of Hedda Hossas? She was impressive last time out, but there is a big difference in the terms of experience between them, and Faust uses his Inoa Hyperdrive immediately to try and close that gap down.
Yeah, I think that's smart. We saw it a couple of times yesterday, using it early on to just give yourself as much momentum as you can. Look through the slingshot, going for the high line, the dirt kicking up all over them. The gap, 3.7 seconds at present. They've got to close it down. It's coming down already, 3.3 seconds. Hedda Hossas, you've got to keep going. You've got to get out there.
Tanner Faust, 3.1 now, takes another 2/10 sideways over the crest, 2.89. Faust is absolutely hunting Hossas down here. He's going to close the gap. Oh, big moment over the crest. Had a roll earlier on this year. Look how chilled out he is in the car, though. No problem for Faust. Looks down at the wheel. Hossas, remember, has still got her Inoa Hyperdrive to respond with. Her eyes are wide with the pressure.
Look, you can see GZ Woolrich using their Hyperdrive right now. This is hunting down time. Look, Faust closing the gap. It looks like they've got a little bit wide. Have they got a problem in that car for Hossas? She's going to be taken. She's going to be taken if they can get through on the inside for Faust. They're going to have to go up the hill now.
Big mistake for Hossas coming over the crest. She got two sideways, Jenny, and gave up the 2 seconds that she had. So still not through. Faust looks to the inside line now. Going to flick the car back on the exit of this one. Try and find some more traction on the run down to the jump. They're both sliding out wide. Now Faust on the inside line for the jump. Side by side, the Neil McLaren Extreme E, I think, going to take the lead over this jump. He's got the inside, but they're contact. Oh, Hossas goes round. Faust going off to the side of the course too. Where's the McLaren? Has he kept it on? He spun all the way round. Has he missed a waypoint? He's missed a waypoint. And so does Hossas. Hossas goes wide too. 5 second penalty definitely for both. Oh, now Exciter back in the fight as well.
But look, Exciter coming through from this. They are under investigation. They will maybe get a penalty, but this has changed the whole dynamics of this. Will that whole thing be under investigation? Well, out front it is the Neon McLaren Extreme E car. It is Tanner Faust. But my word, this has got dramatic. And look, hunting him down. Scheider is trying to get this, and it looks like he may well do it in time.
They're going to get a penalty, remember, we think, for knocking down the flag. So, and we've also got an infringement between 42 and 5. So Excite Energy, you're under investigation for contact there. I think, Jenny, this will end up in the stewards' room. But meanwhile, let's enjoy a brilliant race between Tanner Faust and Timo Scheider. Where's Hossas? She's 5.7 seconds back. Tiny bit of contact after the jump. No malice in it for me. It was just side-by-side racing.
Yeah, got a little bit messy, didn't it, out there? But they're going to compete for one spot in the final. We said this was the crazy race. Crazy by name, crazy by nature. Right, this is Scheider hunting down Faust. They are under investigations. Cars 58 and 22. That's JBXE and the McLaren team as well. So let's see what happens from here on in.
Tanner Faust over the left-hander now into the Continental Traction Challenge. Timo Scheider right behind him. In the background, Hossas has used her Inoa Hyperdrive to try and close the gap, but 7 seconds is too much of a bridge to gap. Remember, they both missed a gate. What's happened to Veloce? They stopped. They're 32 seconds back, so issues for them. So they're not going to win this unless everybody else gets such a massive penalty for all the other infringements, Jenny. I mean, we just can't tell.
So, look, here we go then. It's Faust versus Scheider for one last place in the final. Who's going to get it? We know there are penalties coming in, so it's going to take a little bit of working out. But who crosses the line first? That's the most important thing. And at the moment, it looks like it's Faust that's going to keep ahead of Scheider. There's 2 seconds in it. Can they close the gap in time? We've seen some brilliant finishes here, taking so much energy across that finishing line. How much is the gap as they come round towards the final? It's going to be Faust that goes through for McLaren. They go through to the final of this, and unfortunately for Excite, it was a little too late for them to get through, but congratulations, Tanner Faust, Emma Gilmore, getting that Neon McLaren through to the final in one of the craziest races. And here you can see JBXE. Wowzers. They have managed to get that car round. Unfortunate spin for Hossas. We're going to show you again as they come over. This is the collision that happened.
They're just on different lines. I mean, Faust then ends up going wide, like a missing a waypoint. Now, Jenny, normally it's, I think it's, is it 5 or 10 for missing, but then it's also, was there an advantage gained? There definitely wasn't, because he's gone wider. Hossas then, bless her, goes around the flag as well, probably thinking in the fluster and all the dust. Here it is again. So Faust's teeing her up. Look, she's sideways as she comes up to the jump. Now they're both straight, but on a similar trajectory. Over the jump, look, they land, just end up into each other. I can't call that, I really can't, and I'm not convinced the stewards won't just say racing incident. Wow.
Oh, well, that was breathless.
It's a goodie.
It was.
It's a goodie.
And you can see that everybody's under investigation.
They're
So
all in court.
everybody's standing there. And oh, look at Tamara. You mustn't beat yourself up about this. There are a lot of drivers out there who are really taking a blame for the whole team. You've got to pull yourself together and go, okay, that didn't work out, but don't worry about that. You gave it your absolute all. Of course, it means Excite would be out of the championship challenge finally if they can't do it. And I tell you what, McLaren were busy fighting out there, but they have gone fastest in the Continental Traction Challenge and potentially taken 5 points away from
crucial.
Rosberg X Racing. Absolutely fundamental. McLaren are not in this championship challenge, but my word, they may well have just thrown a massive spanner in the works. They've gone a 10th faster than Rosberg X Racing.
That might take the championship to the final round. So Rosberg X Racing have a 32-point lead. If they win here, it's game over, because it won't close down the gap to the other teams. There's the Veloce car with the rear end crippled. You can hear the tyre, the Continental tyre, banging up against the side of the bodywork. One of the toe links broken on the rear of the car there, crabbing round to the finish. But yeah, the McLaren and the Continental Traction Challenge, that is absolutely crucial, Jenny.
Well, congratulations to Woolridge and to GZ as well for getting that car round. My word, they have had a very bruising weekend once again. This has been a battle, and you can just see there in the Vodafone Business Command Centre, everyone's still on tenterhooks. Tamara still heartbroken.
Yeah? Wow. I thought you did it here.
Result then of the crazy race. Absolutely fantastic racing. GZ and Lance Woolridge with a broken car dragging it over the line. Unfortunate Hossas with a brilliant fight with Faust, but the contact over the jump meant that she ended up finishing P3 with her partner Kevin Hansen. Scheider and Molinaro get second place. They downed a flag earlier on in the race, and then Faust and Gilmore with the win for Neon McLaren Extreme E.
Wow. When they said we were going to be coming to a mine to go racing, I was like, oh, okay, this sounds interesting. Sustainability-wise, box ticked. Frogs, gorgeous, box ticked. Amazing racing through box a ticked. Stunning circuit, box definitely ticked. Yes, bad luck for some, and you can see what a beast that car is to try and get home for Veloce.
I would be standing in the paddock when Woolridge is coming in. That thing's changing direction wherever it wants. Look at it, very easily around a left-hander, not so easily around a right. That's not getting reversed into the 10, I can tell you that much.
So this is the start. Have a look at the McLaren, because that gets a really good start for Emma Gilmore. And then Kevin Hansen in the JBXE trying to slingshot round the outside. Can't quite make it work there. Tries on the inside. At this point, Emma Gilmore says, no, not yet. You'll have to wait behind me for a little bit longer. And Gilmore doing a brilliant drive.
Yeah, she really did. Remember, Emma is a rally driver primarily. She has she did a season of Global Rallycross, so she knows how to race as well. But Kevin Hansen has a lot more experience. And I tell you what, Molinaro, don't be upset with yourself, Tamara. That was one of the saves of the season, keeping that car on all four wheels.
Stunt driver career beckons after this. You're absolutely fine. So McLaren's still out in front, and you can just see the battle for third and fourth at the moment. But it was all going to change, wasn't it? Look at this, the speed on this, and that amazing jump. I'd love to see the slow-mo over there, because absolutely stunning. And it meant that JBXE was suddenly leading the way from McLaren.
Yeah, Kevin teeing that up from a little way further up the hill. Say Emma's pace was absolutely fantastic. It really was. She held Kevin off for more than a lap, and then went with him when he managed to sneak past. Interesting, is it, that start-finish straight, Jenny? We said it's one of the most open, flat-out parts of the circuit. We've seen a few passes go down there, but you have to tee it up from a long way back.
Yeah, it's strategic, isn't it, this?
Yeah.
You've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to plan ahead like a game of chess, and Tanner Faust did it brilliantly. Just looking at the timings, he went fastest in every sector out there.
Go on,
that
Tanner.
is impressive when you think about who you're up against. Really, really impressive.
All the purples, yeah, it is indeed. All the purples. Incredible.
This the collision course. They go into each other, and you can just see, I don't think there's any malice there. The stewards will have to look at it. Right, we've got 10-second time penalty for car 42 for that dropped flag at waypoint 13. So that's Excite plus 10. We will wait to see what the stewards say about this incident. It got messy. They missed the waypoint. But I tell you what, dramatic. And there we go, the Excite Energy Racing team just creeping through.
My money's on no further action for the contact, Jenny. I think that's a racing incident, but they will have to penalise them for the missed waypoint. I guess the thing is, whether they do 5 or 10 doesn't actually matter, because Excite have been given 10 already. So that you can't say Faust gained an advantage from that. He definitely didn't. The gap came down massively. So I think the result will stand based on, you know, the years of experience, but you never know with the stewards.
Laura Winter is down there running around for us as ever in the paddock, and she's caught up with Tamala Morinaro.
A lot of emotional drivers here this morning. There's some high-octane racing, and Tamara is alongside me now. And you've just said to me, if I didn't have that terrible start, just talk me through your lap and then how you felt.
I don't have so many words right now, to be honest. I had a terrible start, and that obviously affected all the race. Then I got stuck behind Christine. I think I had a bit more pace, but I had to find a good space to overtake, and then I managed to, and then I lost the rear of the car in one of the waypoints, and I managed to recover it. Then Timo did a great job. So yeah.
Well, your chance to get through to the final, obviously we are still waiting to hear everyone under investigation in that race. It will come down to the stewards, and I know that's a very difficult position for you to be in, isn't it? Just the waiting game now.
Like I told you before, motorsport sometimes is just brutal, you know. You just give everything and you care so much about it, and yeah, it is what it is, so.
We can see how much you care. Tamara, I'll let you go down to your team, go and see Timo. Thank you very much, well done.
And that's when your teammate really comes in handy, because you just need to go and talk it out, console each other. This Emma Gilmore and Tanner Faust, they hope they've done enough. Tap on the back for each of them.
There's a lineman who's like a little bit off, though. Is it from the front right?
He was stealing his son.
As soon as I got out there, I went to the first corner, and I was like, whoa, there's really nothing there.
It's great. I love it.
He's such a good guy. Amazing. Right, we're waiting to find out what the stewards are going to say from that Neon McLaren team. Are they going through? We think so. Could JBXC be going through? Possibly not now. But my word, it was crazy. It lived up to its name and its nature, didn't it? And Excite Energy, if they don't go through, as you heard Laura saying, officially out of the championship challenge. They were just holding on, but now it looks like it's a jump too soon, jump too far for them.
Well, I do enjoy semi-finals and Crazy Race, Jenny. I have to say, once you get into the knockout portion, that's where the emotion comes, isn't it? Because the thing is, during qualifying, look at Katie Munnings and Timmy Hansen, absolute shocker, and then completely turned around in Q2. But in Q1, you know you've still got a chance, and unfortunately now you're at the point where there is no chance anymore, and of course that's why people get so upset. Brilliant job by Faust and by Gilmore. All purple sectors for Tanner Faust for them to lead that Continental Traction Challenge. And could that be key in the championship fight?
Absolutely fundamental to me that they've managed to grab that away, because at the moment they've only got 19 points. They lie down in 7th in the championship, or 8th place even. So big move from them to put together an absolutely perfect lap from
Remember,
both of them.
Christopherson said it as well, didn't he? Sent me a message saying it might be dry enough in the Crazy Race. He's absolutely all over the detail. Grid play at the minute is led by Acciona Sainz. They have gone through, remember, to the final, so they're going to get first choice, I believe. Will that be critical? That turn one run has been... Oh, there's Molinaro safe. Wow, yeah. Can't wait for later.
As you say, save of the day. QR code up on the screen if you want to find out more about grid play or find out more about this whole championship for that fact. So, Sainz, RXR, X44, Apt Cupra, and we think Neon McLaren going through into the final. Who will be winners? Will we see the title won? You'll have to come back and find out.
Prepare to be aggressive. Time to drive now.